Hello and welcome. I'm Tom Palmer. Tonight I'm speaking with Mary Biasotti, Regional Director of the Bay Area for Grid Alternatives. Hello, Mary.
Hi.
Thank you for coming.
Very glad to be here.
So please tell me about Grid Alternatives.
Grid Alternatives is a nonprofit solar installer. We install exclusively for qualified homeowners, bringing the savings of solar to families who are struggling to make ends meet, while working with volunteers and job trainees and reducing greenhouse gas emissions.
You were founded in 2001?
Yes.
And tell me the story of your origins.
Very wonderful story that we're all just happy to tell is our co-founders, Tim Sears and Erica Mackey. We're engineers who were working for a commercial energy efficiency company back in 2001 during the energy crisis. And they had the idea to bring the savings of renewable energy and energy efficiency to the low-income community. And so they put their heads together, sat at the kitchen table for a few years and tried to work this out, being told that they were crazy to try this and it wouldn't work. But in 2004, Grid Alternatives installed the first 2 solar PV systems for low-income homeowners. And to date, we have installed over 2,000 solar PV systems across the state of California.
And those are all low-income homeowners?
Yes.
So you focus on that area within the California Solar Initiative that's dedicated to low-income housing.
Correct.
It's called SASH.
Correct. The California Solar Initiative has set aside money exclusively for low-income affordable homeowners, and we manage that rebate that is called the Singlefamily Affordable Solar Home Rebate, which helps to bring down the cost, it helps to fund the cost of installing solar for low-income homeowners.
How much is that rebate per home?
It varies depending on the income level of the homeowner. All homeowners, in order to qualify for this rebate, need to be low income as designated by HUD. And the rebate varies from $4.75 a watt to $7 a watt, which is far greater than the 65 cents a watt regular rebate available to California residents.
Can you give me, for instance, a typical case in dollars and cents?
Sure. The systems cost about $15,000 to $40,000, depending on the household's size and energy needs, energy usage per year. And we apply the rebate. We size the system according to the homeowner's energy use. We need to provide a minimum of 75% of their electricity use with the solar. And then we layer on other funding from our donors, our corporate sponsors, foundations, and other forms of local government support to make that cost no cost to the homeowner, so that they can start saving money on day one. That money that they save is then they are then able to spend that on medical bills, education, paying their mortgage. It makes them able to stay in their homes, makes it affordable to stay in their homes.
Your website noted that the founders, part of their motivation was that they were working on these sort of systems for very large, well-heeled individuals and organizations, and thinking, well, it would be wonderful to make this sort of savings available to the sorts of families that often live in the shadows of large coal-burning plants or large power plants.
What's wonderful about our mission is that we believe that what's good for the environment can go hand in hand with improving the lives of people in low-income communities. And you're right, these low-income residents often live in the shadow of polluting power plants, and they're often left on the sidelines of the solar revolution. And Grid Alternatives is happy to be making solar accessible to the masses. And bringing, building a local sustainable energy source on the rooftops of our residents.
So if someone's watching and wondering if they qualify, what is HUD's designation for low income?
It varies by county, and certainly anyone can call us to see if they qualify, or go to our website and look at the qualification table for what 80% of the area median income means for them, for the size of their household and what county they live in.
And there's a couple other requirements. I think you have to have unobstructed sun available to your roof between 11 and or some hours of the day?
Well, once we pre-qualify you for a system, a solar PV system to be installed, we do need to check out your roof and make sure that it's solar worthy. Need to make sure that the roof has plenty of life left on it, because the solar is going to be up there for 30 years or more, providing that energy savings. And yes, we do need to check out what kind of shading is made by the trees surrounding the house, the chimneys, or any other kind of obstructions.
Are there some new solar panel designs that involve less penetration to the roof and make that less of an issue? Or Tom Kelly from Kyoto USA was on the show, and he's trying to get solar installations on the roofs of schools around the Bay Area, and with some success. And that is one of the big hurdles, is that the roofs are often in bad shape, and the cost of the roof is more than the cost of a new roof is more than the cost of a new solar system sometimes. So, but he noted that in some cases you can use a new design where there's less penetration to the roof, and I think more of a probability of actually taking the panels off, and in the event of a roof reinstallation. So I don't know. I would think that the panels are changing, right? They're getting.
There's continual innovation in the solar equipment world, and it's wonderful to be a part of that and to work with our panel and inverter manufacturers to try out new ways of installing solar. And yes, there are less penetrating ways to install solar. And we want to make sure that that homeowner is safe and healthy in their home. So we do check out the quality of the roof and work with them and their local city government to perhaps get a rehab loan to put up a new roof before we install solar, or while we're installing solar. We work with the roofer to put that up.
So your website noted that a lot of these installations are like little barn raisings.
Yes.
You use volunteer labor, and many people are trained as volunteers. Someone might want a job with a solar company, and they'll say, well, go to Grid and volunteer for a while and get some experience and then come back, and that's what they do.
That has often been the story, and we're proud to fill that niche of being a teaching hospital on the rooftop. Many people are interested in solar, in the technology, in learning how to install it, just in the theory of solar, and we invite anyone to volunteer with us. We also very intentionally work with job training organizations such as Laney College Green Jobs and Solar Richmond and many others around the Bay Area, and provide that hands-on experience besides their classroom experience, so that they can, when an employer asks them, what kind of experience do you have? Oh, well, I have volunteered, this many hours with Grid Alternatives, and you can get a
certificate.
Yeah.
Some 9,000 volunteers you've trained?
We have trained over 9,000 volunteers, which is more than 45,000 hours of volunteer donation.
Do you want to run the numbers? You have a section on your site about the numbers, the pounds of CO2 out of the atmosphere and things like that.
Sure. We have installed over 2,000 systems in the state of California to date. That is providing $56 million worth of savings to the homeowners over the life of the systems, which is 30 years. And that's over 6 megawatts of power that we've installed, which is in turn the equivalent of taking 40,000 cars off the road. And we're extremely proud to be part of that clean energy movement and economic development movement.
And it's a fairly large organization you have. It's nonprofit. It's
Yes.
How many people total?
We have 102 staff statewide. And
7 offices.
Yes, 7 offices across the state. I am the director of the Bay Area office, and I have 16 wonderful staff that are helping to make these impacts.
And what's your goal for the future? Something like 300 houses a year?
1,000 houses a year.
Oh.
So we hope to have installed 6,000 systems by 2016.
Well, a family that meets the requirements, you wouldn't, it'd be hard to see what would stand in the way. You'd think that it would be easy to convince someone to take part in your program if they can instantly save money. And I wonder what the barriers are, why more people don't want to do it. Or perhaps you have a waiting list, I don't know.
Well, we do have a lot of happy homeowners out there who are calling us up or sending us emails saying, thank you so much. Can't believe what you've done for me and the amount of money that I'm saving, on my bill. I got my bill the other day and it's just, wow, I have more money to spend, on my child's medical bills. For example, a homeowner in Oakland is a single grandmother taking care of her grandkids in her old Victorian home, and one of those children is medically dependent, meaning that they need to have electricity-dependent medical equipment, such as a respirator, and her bills were extremely high. Here she is, a single, grandmother raising her dependent grandchildren, and needing to provide electricity for all this medical equipment and just electricity to run the household. We were able to install solar for her, bring her electricity bill down by a minimum of 75%, which is more money that she can save for her grandchildren's education, more money that she can have to pay those medical bills of her grandchild, and so forth.
Is it difficult to get on your list as a family? Is there a waiting list, or how does the procedure work?
If anyone calls us up at our 800 number, which is listed on our website, we can go through the qualification steps with them. Sometimes there is a waiting list. Sometimes we are able to process your application right away, a homeowner's application right away. It is not too long of a waiting period. It may be 3 to 6 months before we're able to start working with a homeowner on getting their system.
Can you have your friends come help with the barn raising?
You can. The homeowner themselves can be involved. We have homeowners who've been very excited to be a part of their own solar installation, such as a recent Richmond homeowner who was also a graduate of a job training program and was able to participate in his own solar installation on his home. We've had homeowners who just, think it is fantastic that they can be part of this solar movement when that's normally not been for, the lower income community. And then they can have their friends and family participate, as well as our volunteer population that calls us up and wants to apply to be a volunteer. So it just takes an application and a mandatory orientation where we go through the basics of solar, how solar works, the basics of installing solar, and the safety that is utmost high on our list of priorities.
Safety during the installation, or safety during the course of the installation.
Safety during the course of the installation is key to our success. We welcome anyone. They do not have to be skilled to come and volunteer with us. That is where we do have a waiting list, is for volunteers. We are happy to process your application. It may be a while before volunteers are able to get on a rooftop with us.
Well, that's an interesting dilemma.
It's a wonderful problem to have.
Yeah.
And we're grateful for all the support of our volunteers and
Do you
our
think
donors.
it's partly people wanting to get into the solar industry? And there's people on your website who have started their own business based on their volunteering time with you. There's a Rocky Ward that has his own van and is installing solar. You want to tell me that story?
Right, and that's Jonas Copeland. He came out of an internship with Habitat for Humanity East Bay and came to work with us as a volunteer, and then was hired onto our staff and led installations as a solar installation supervisor, led our teams of volunteers, eventually gained enough knowledge and skill that he was able to go on to start his own solar company. And that story has been repeated over and over again with our job trainees. And you're right, there are people who recognize that the solar industry is growing much, much faster than the rest of the economy. And the job promise in the solar industry is far greater. And getting that hands-on experience is real key to being able to go out and land a job as a solar installer. We even have companies who call us and ask us if we'd like to, offer up names of volunteers who've been trained with us because they've got a big installation coming up and they'd like to hire some temporary employees.
Fantastic. It sounds like a model for other states. I wonder whether other states are looking at what you're doing, and it seems like you've established something that works on multiple levels and that could be duplicated nationwide.
Yes, we believe so, and we have had many states contact us asking us if we can bring the model to their state. We are happy to be piloting our grid alternatives in Colorado this year, and trying out various funding methods for our pilot in Colorado. There are other states also interested, and yes, there are states that are watching what we're doing and wanting to replicate it.
Do you know if there's other state legislatures that are looking at similar solar initiatives and also mandating some of that for low income? There are,
and we're very, very happy that the state of California and the legislature and the CPUC, the California Public Utilities Commission, has been, on the forefront of bringing solar to the masses, like we are here in California.
Which states are they? Do you know?
I don't know, but that is something that our headquarters, Grid Alternatives headquarters, can certainly talk to the community more about, talk to your viewers more about.
And what counties have you done the most work in? I know Riverside was, you've done a lot of installations there. Have you focused on certain counties?
We have offered the solar installations in just about every county across the across California, and in the Bay Area, we serve the 9 Bay Area counties as well as up the coast, the North Coast, including the tribal lands. So we have installed more than 34 systems on tribal lands in the North Coast. The areas that the Bay Area office is focusing most on for these couple of years is Richmond, Oakland, San Francisco, and San Jose. However, anyone from any city or county can apply to us, and we'll see if they qualify.
So what is your background? How did you come to Grid?
When I was a child, I wanted to be a missionary. When I was a teenager, I wanted to be an environmentalist. And as a college student and a graduate of college, I wanted to open doors for economic development to people in my community, helping them to use their innate skills and knowledge to be able to support their families and to be able to grow economically. And so I served for 24 years in a nonprofit in Oakland where I was able to help youth develop their skills and their economic, their careers and their futures, helping adults to use their innate skills to build micro businesses, as well as we had, other types of programs that helped households to improve their economic stance by their own skills and their own knowledge. I took a short break from that to be able to care for my mother-in-law, and then became extremely interested and very happy to receive the job of directing the Bay Area Office of Grid Alternatives. So excited that I could now again fit into an organization where we were empowering homeowners with significant savings, empowering job seekers with crucial job training skills, and cleaning the air. That was my environmental background. So it all came together, and I was very happy to, and have been very happy to be in this position.
When did you join them?
In 2009.
Very good. So, long-term goals for Grid. What's the goals for the coming 3-5 years?
The Bay Area office will continue to install about 200 systems per year in those counties that I mentioned. We also have the goal as an entire organization and as the Bay Area to gain more support for being able to continue to make solar accessible to the masses. So that takes the wider, diverse community of philanthropists, donors, foundations, local governments, to be able to participate together in putting solar on rooftops of the low-income communities.
Are you looking at also expanding to not just households, but to organizations, perhaps schools, churches, and
We get a lot of calls from schools, churches, and other nonprofits asking us for help to install solar. We look forward to the day when that might be possible. Right now, our funding is such that we need to focus on the low-income, affordable homeowners and piece that funding together to make that model work.
Is that because of the way SASH is structured?
That's because of the way the rebate is structured, and because that's what we're focusing on through 2016.
Well, it seems like enough. You have enough on your plate right there, right? Yeah.
For now, yes. But we are already looking at, what is our expansion going to be besides to other states. Many of us on staff have dreams of taking this internationally, taking this overseas. Certainly would be a much different model. We certainly are looking at, as you said, the other types of solar installations that we can provide for our community.
And what portion of your funding is individuals versus institutions and the state?
It is a growing small proportion that we hope to continue to grow.
Oh, the individuals?
Yes.
So most of that rebate, of course, is the state.
The rebate from the state, we enjoy wonderful support from corporate sponsors. We have good hand-in-hand relationships with some of the local governments. For instance, the city of Richmond. We are working together with them on the Richmond Recovery Solar Rebate to help bring the cost of solar down to nothing for those homeowners in Richmond. And happy to work with San Francisco on their Go Solar SF rebate and layer that together with our other funding sources to make solar affordable for the low-income community.
You don't think of the low-income community when you think of the global warming, or when you think of, the challenges ahead in front of us. So it is interesting. So when you think of solar panels on a home, you think of a whole nother income class. So if low-income housing, low-income groups can go solar, it seems like anyone can go solar. So it takes away the mental barrier from anyone. If someone drives through a low-income area and sees that most of those homes are solar, you might be thinking, well, I'm behind the times, It's
Right.
I don't know. I don't have a cell phone personally, and I see people, I see homeless people with cell phones. I think, well, gee, I'm behind the times.
Certainly, it's been wonderful to talk with our homeowners and feel their excitement for getting to be part of the solar revolution when they thought that would never be possible for them. We have a homeowner who we recently installed for in Oakland who's telling all of his neighbors and friends, about grid alternatives, because he was so excited about green technology, never thought it could be possible for him, and he's spreading the word about grid alternatives. And yes, to the wider solar industry, we are helping the industry and the policymakers to see that solar can be accessible to the masses. And it is a tangible, important, growing solution to our energy crisis.
Very good. Well, Mary Biasotti, thank you so much for coming here and telling us about Grid Alternatives. A very worthy organization. Appreciate your time, and wish you all the best. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. And thank you for watching. Good night.